So the year is 1999 and Ferrari launches a new model, a new car, which redefines its segment of mid-engine sports car. We're talking about here of an extensive use of aluminum. We're talking about a naturally aspirated V8, and we're talking about rounded shapes and forms, which is called the 360 Modena. But this video is not about the Modena, it's about its evolution. The Ferrari 430. Under the skin, the F430 and the 360 Modena are basically the same car. I'm talking about the same aluminum space frame chassis made in partnership with Alcoa. I'm talking about the same suspension components, and even the windows are the same. But here on the F430, the Pininfarina studio gets those very rounded shape forms of the 360 Modena and redesigns it, giving a whole new visual identity to this car. The aerodynamics of the car were much improved with this new form. We have much more downforce being generated here with less drag. And here on the front of the car, we have these new inlets, which remind us of a Formula One car, the 166. And here on the sides, we have the side mirrors, which is inspired on those of the Testarossas with the inscription F430. And here on the rear side of the car, we have the 4 tail lights inspired by the Ferrari Enzo, and even the rear diffuser, which came from the 360 Challenge. Under the skin, it's very hard to remember that we're still talking about a 360 Modena here. Here in the interior, we have a very typical interior for Ferraris back on those days. A few buttons, they get loose with the use, and a few of the linings of some of the commands here get damaged with the use. But here we must say that this is the first car that we have this system, which is very revolutionary back on those days, which is the Manettino system that we see in all of the Ferraris since this car. So we are around 2004 in Formula One, and Ferrari already won a few championships with Michael Schumacher, and the rules were notorious back then, on that season specifically, on allowing a lot of electronic aid systems. So in the steering wheel of those cars, we didn't have only one Manettino, but lots of systems that were controlled by lots of Manettinos. So we have the traction control, we have the differential control, we have the engine brake system, and even there were buttons that were labeled drink. And even Schumacher and Barrichello usually to drink something, I don't know what, maybe orange juice, while they were handling those screaming V10s on those straights. So here in the F430, we have all of those electronic systems, aid systems, that were incorporated, that were installed on this car, okay? So the traction control, the stability control, the dampers control, the engine response control, the very special e-diff control, which gives a much more better handling to this car, all incorporated on the electronics of this car. But instead of having one Manettino for each system, the Ferrari put only one with 5 settings to control all of these responses. This is pretty much the first car that started with this. This is present on all of the Ferraris to this day, and even the other companies have a similar system nowadays. So as a Ferrari once said that he did not sell cars, but engines. And here indeed we have a confusion between chassis and engines. On the 360 Modena we have the F131 chassis with the F131 engine, which is a family of engines that began back in '66. But in the F430 we have still the same chassis, the F131, but here in the engine we have a new family, which is called F136. So the F136, it is a V8 with a flat plane crankshaft and 4.3 liters of displacement, which gives the name to the car, 430. So in comparison to the Modena engine, we have a much more simpler approach to some of the systems here. We don't have more the 5 valves per cylinder, we only have 4 here. We don't have more the double intake plenum. We only have a more simpler plenum with very long headers. And we lose that timing belt system to a timing chain system with variable camshafts. And also, this is the last port injection V8 of Ferrari engines. So the F136 is an engine that was made back in the days where displacement meant horsepower. Talking about the peak of volumetric efficiency here, we're talking about 5,000 RPMs, and Ferrari declares that this engine delivers 460 Newton meters of torque, and around 8,000 RPMs, the engine declares delivers 480 horsepower, which is a lot. So over there, what we have, it is a V8 with a flat plane and Formula One technologies. And if you have the right exhaust, we can bring this engine to its full acoustic potential. And for that, we have a secret weapon exhaust. So we get asked, what is your objective of one exhaust like this? Is this, I'm on first gear, seems like I'm doing like 100, but I'm actually doing 60. That's kilometers per hour. It's very little, but the car has this power to put you on a sensation that everything is faster and more intensive. And that's the objective of this exhaust. The diagram, the curves, the material, everything is being made to raise the frequency and give us this very intense Formula One experience. This tone of very high pitched. Which is very satisfying, very satisfying. Look, this is not a very powerful car to today's standards. But this is also a very loud car, and the experience here is very intense, but with another approach to it, you know? That's it. It doesn't matter. 46, 100 Newton meters, it doesn't matter. It's just a roar feels everything. And that was what the guys on Secret Weapon were looking for when they were designing and researching this exhaust, which is a one of a kind. So that's it. This is the first video that we record for this channel right now. AvantGarde is actually a Portuguese only channel. We've been posting videos here for a while, and we are trying right now to do a new branch, a new experience in English. There is a lot to be learned here. There's a lot of room for improvement, but on this first video we are very honored to show you this kind of project, the Ferrari 430, to show you a little bit of the history of this car, and also show the job, the special exhausts that the Brazilian company Secret Weapon makes for these super and hyper cars. We are going to post a lot of things. We're going to get much better on the English pronunciation and the fluidity of these videos as we get along and learn more how to pass, how to transmit to you this kind of experience. So that's it. Please consider subscribing to this channel. You probably are new here. This is our first video. Don't forget to like the video if you like this kind of content. It's gonna help us to keep posting more videos in English. So that's it. Welcome to AvantGarde. This video ends here. I'm Guilherme, and this is AvantGarde.